Good morning. How y'all doing? We're back at the house again. I've got a little minor car issue, so didn't want to get the vehicle out. Trying to mess with it today too much anyway. But we're gonna talk about some sports, and we got some cool stuff to talk about. I watched. I didn't get to watch the whole game. I believe it was yesterday. But America or United States of America played against. Man, who was it? I don't even remember who they were playing against. Nicaragua, maybe. I think that's absolutely wrong. But Mike Trout basically, um, he won the entire game for America. So it was great. I actually really enjoyed watching him play through the highlights that I watched. Mike Trout went 3 for 4. That was my first take. That's what I wanted to talk about was Mike Trout being the World Baseball Classic GOAT. And we're also going to talk. We're going to talk Mike Trout. We're going to talk Titans free agency. We're going to talk March Madness. But I wanted to start with Mike Trout. He is, I believe, he's the captain this year of America's team, and it was really great. I didn't really want to talk too much about World Baseball in general. I did want to talk about Mike Trout just because watching the highlights yesterday. Um, it was Team Columbia. That's who it was. It was Team Columbia. They had a really great idea. Team Columbia was going to bring in a new pitcher every time the lineup flipped over, and for all intents and purposes, I mean, it actually worked really well. They were able to hold off a really potent offense for America, but Mike Trout got everything started with a triple in the first inning. He didn't score, but that was it. Kind of set the tone for him throughout the rest of the evening. And then later on, he fought off a few really tough pitches, got to a tough count, was able to fight one off the other way, scored America's first run, and then hit a 2-run. I want to say it was a single or maybe a double later on in the game to take the lead. And again, I don't really care much about. I do care about the World Baseball Classic, but that's not what I want to talk about here. I wanted to more or less talk about Mike Trout because he is the best player in the game when healthy, and right now he's healthy, and he carried America to a win yesterday. I'd love to see what he's going to be able to do throughout the rest of the tournament. America's headed to, I believe, Orlando now. That's where the next, or Miami. I think it's Miami. America's heading to Miami next for the next round. I don't know who they're going to play against. It's been hard to keep up. I can't keep up with all the high school sports going on. Y'all know that. It's hard to keep up with the professional sports going on too. But I believe that's where America's headed next. But it's really awesome to see Mike Trout healthy and playing really good baseball. He is the best baseball player on the planet, I think, right now. I'd love to see Ronald Acuna take that title from him, but I don't think Ronald can. I don't think Ronald can right now. Ronald hasn't been healthy. Mike looks like he's healthy. He looked really good running around the field yesterday. Like I said, again, he carried America to a win. Baseball is better when its best players are healthy and playing well. Mike Trout is undoubtedly one of the best baseball players on planet Earth. So it's awesome to see him going. America's going to be a hard team to beat because they do have such a potent offense. I mean, they got the Cardinals corner infield with Arenado and Goldschmidt. You got Mookie Betts, who can play basically every position. Mike Trout, who's the best player on the planet. I just named 4 players. I haven't named anybody else. And the rest of their lineup is really potent. They've got some pretty good pitchers. America's got a good chance to pull out. Maybe get a World Baseball Classic championship here. But there are a lot of other really, really good teams. Japan is always good. They have Shohei Ohtani, who, maybe he could argue with Mike Trout being the best player on the planet. The crazy thing is the Angels have 2 of the best players in the world, and they can't even get to the playoffs. That's another conversation for another day. We'll talk about that one day, though, I promise. But we'll see where all this goes. Mike Trout being healthy is a huge thing for America, though. Now, I'm gonna do my little DMA read, the Dixon Medical Associates. We're gonna do the little read real quick, and then y'all get to go watch these wonderful commercials that we have. And then whenever y'all get back, we're gonna talk some free agency and some March Madness. So Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our number one priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
All right, I believe our second take that I wrote in, we were going to talk, Titans free agency. I will say I like the Arden Key pickup. Titans went out and got a defensive lineman. They've got a few other pickups since then. It's mostly defensive stuff. I know that they did not tender, or Nick Westbrook-Akine and them couldn't really come together. And Westbrook-Akine, I guess he declined whatever sort of tender deal there was. And so he wanted to test free agency. I don't blame him, honest to God. If you think you're a good receiver, I have no clue why you'd want to play in Nashville. The Titans offense is still stuck in 1990. The new GM says, he just said a few weeks ago at the combine that the teams that play in January, they play good defense and run the ball. No, they don't. That's a lie. The Chiefs were like 28th in run efficiency last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So stop lying to people. Football is not about 3 yards in a cloud of dust anymore. Here's the thing. If you have grown men that can play that type of football, yes, you will have a distinct advantage over the opponent. The problem is every single defense in the NFL is filled full of the most athletic, biggest, strongest human beings there are. And you can't just run right up the middle anymore. That's not how football works. And that's not my opinion. Look at the winner of the Super Bowl. They have great defenses. I'm not going to argue with Carthen on that. He's absolutely right. Titans need a great defense. Everybody needs a great defense. Even the Chiefs, who have an average defense, it takes everything that they have from the offense that they have, including Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, which is one of the best offensive duos between quarterback and head coach of all time. It still takes the best that they've got to beat the teams that they've beaten in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have beaten now the Eagles and the 49ers. And in both games, the Eagles, they beat them. They're pretty good against the Eagles. The 49ers game, they had to come back and win late in the fourth quarter. I got the hiccups. Sorry. They had to come back and win late in the fourth quarter. So it shows you that you can have the best quarterback. You can have a great offensive mind as a coach. It's still going to be really tough. But I think it also shows you that these teams that just want to turn around and run the ball 50 times a game, it don't work. It don't work anymore. It doesn't. And I wish it did, because that's what the Titans do. But if whatever the Titans have been doing for the last 30 years, if it worked, they would have won a Super Bowl by now. There needs to be a serious change in I think, philosophy in Nashville before the Titans are really going to take the next step. But right now, all we can really worry about is free agency. And I got to be honest. I think 2 offensive linemen, they've been given a deal. They've got, of course, the Arden Key pickup is the one I wanted to bring up. I really liked him. I wanted him in the draft a few years ago. The Jaguars wound up taking him a little bit earlier than I thought he really probably should have went. But long story short, I do believe the Titans. I don't think their roster sucks. I don't think the roster is that bad. The problem is offensively, the philosophy is 30 years behind, and quite frankly, other than Derrick Henry, I just don't think there's a lot of talent on that side of the ball. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's a good quarterback. He's definitely not a good enough quarterback to make up for the fact that he has nobody to throw the ball to. Free agency, Titans didn't do much in regards to that. I don't know if they've picked up a receiver yet. I haven't seen any news of them picking up a receiver. But apparently, Carthen and Mike Vrabel think. Never mind. I almost said a very inappropriate joke. I'm not going to do that. I'm upset because the Titans refuse to go do what I think they should do. But nobody listens to me anyway, so I should probably get over that, right? Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the third take because I got to get off free agency because it bothers me. Third take, we're going to talk March Madness. I wanted to start with Tennessee here. Tennessee is a 4 seed. They're facing off against Louisiana. I've been hearing about a revenge game for Louisiana. Apparently Tennessee and Louisiana played in 93, I think, 93, 94, something like that. And there was a phantom foul call that led to a Tennessee victory. I didn't know about that. That was pre-Casey history when it comes to sorry, I didn't mean to punch my microphone. I hope it wasn't too loud. That's pre my history as far as Tennessee sports. So I actually had to go back and look up a little bit of that. Ron Slay was playing then. I want to say one of the guys I follow on Twitter, he actually shared something about it. And so I saw that on Twitter, and I thought that was really cool because, I mean, apparently Louisiana was a 13 seed then, and Tennessee was a 4 seed. It's a rematch of all that, and not that any of that matters. It's not even remotely important. I just thought it was something cool to bring up. But other than that, everybody has Alabama in the Final Four of their tournament. Maybe they're that good. Everybody's playing. They're actually playing right now. We have a few games going. I'm looking right now. Virginia is up 9 on Furman, and Maryland is up 2 on West Virginia. Let's see. That should be a fun game. That's the South bracket. Alabama's the 1 seed. Arizona at the 2 seed. I will say 88% of people are taking Arizona to win that game. Man, that's going to be a fun game to watch later. I think Princeton might be able to pull off the 15 over the 2 upset. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Let's see. Over in the West, anybody playing yet? No, got some games later. In the East, nobody's playing yet. Midwest, nobody's playing yet. All the games are later. Let's see. So, like I said, the games that are being played right now, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia Furman. And then they've all started. All the games have started. This is great. This is like the happiest time of the year for some sports people because, I mean, I don't really care much for Christmas, right? I mean, I'm not a big holiday person. Labor Day is my favorite holiday because that's the one day where the government actually tells you to go to the house. And I'm sick and tired of – never mind. That's a different conversation too. Labor Day is the best holiday. But we've got – let's see. I was trying to think. Tennessee plays – do they play tonight? They play tonight at 8:30 against Louisiana. That's going to be fun to watch. Let's see. Over here in the West, Kansas is a really good team. Kansas is probably going to make it to the Final Four. UCLA, really? They got a 2 seed? Wow. Over in the West. All right. In the East region, Purdue's a 1 seed, I think. Who was the one guy? The Fairleigh Dickinson coach. I don't know if y'all have seen this or not, but after they won, I want to say it was one of their previous games. may have been a conference championship. He said that he thought Purdue, that it looked like they could beat Purdue. He thought that they didn't look all that great. I love Coach's confidence. I'd love to see another 16-01 because I hate Purdue. And plus, they're over in Tennessee's bracket. That is Tennessee's bracket. Kentucky's in the bracket, too, at 6. At least they're on the bottom side. They're probably not going to make it past. Is Marquette really a good 2 seed? That's crazy. Is Marquette that good this year? Did they get Dwayne Wade back? I mean, how does that work? Michigan State at 7. Tom Izzo, if he's still there, Michigan State can be a tough team to beat because Izzo's a great coach. I don't even know anything about Michigan State. Kansas State has been very good this year. It's another team that's in the bracket. Duke is one of the hottest teams in the country. Got to play them next round. That's if Tennessee beats Louisiana and Duke beats Oral Roberts. Of course, Memphis, Florida Atlantic. Memphis has got talent. And they're going to have to face off against probably Purdue, but we'll see how that goes. Over in the Midwest, Houston's one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're probably going to beat Northern Kent like 52-26 or something. Let's see. Indiana at a 4 seed there, Xavier at a 3 seed, and Texas at a 2 seed. I don't know. These 2 seeds feel weak to me. Anyway, we're going to see what happens. Like I said, Tennessee plays later today. Thank God that I'm doing this the show. Thank God I'm doing my show before the game, because if I would have done this after the game, I probably would have been much more upset about March Madness. I have little faith, very little faith in Tennessee basketball. I love Coach Barnes. I know he has never gotten the Vols to a Elite 8, but he's a great guy that runs a good program. And really good kids, good people. He's building great young men. I know he hasn't won a national championship. I know that they kind of play like crap in these March tournaments. I wish Rick Barnes was the greatest coach of all time and never had any sort of issues in the postseason. But I don't know if I'm so upset about having to deal with that when I know that he's building a program that is building great young men, and they're in the top 10 every year. It's really good teams. They just suck in March. So I like Rick. Hopefully this year, I don't know. I mean, the injury to Ziegler really scares me because at point guard, man, Vescovi doesn't really want to be a point guard, but he kind of has to be. DJ Edwards has been playing a little bit more. But Jemiah Mashack has been invaluable. His defense is insane. But March Madness, it started. We're here. The madness is going. We are ready. I think we're going to do our next DMA read, and then we're going to go ahead and go to another commercial. We're going to come back. We've got a bunch of high school sports to talk. We're going to go through that, and then that'll be the show. So Casey's Take, again, is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
Well, the other day, I went out to Pleasant View. I believe that was Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon. It wasn't really evening. I went out Tuesday afternoon to Pleasant View. Sycamore hosted Creekwood. It was the War Eagles home opener for baseball. And you guys know I love baseball. So it was fun to see both Coach Matt Kerrigan for Sycamore and I see Coach Chris Clapper all the time at Creekwood. He does the scorebooks for the basketball games. So I run into him all the time over in Charlotte. So, but it's always good to see Coach Clapper. And it was good to see Coach Kerrigan and Coach Smiley out in Pleasant View and run into those guys. I don't get to see those guys as much. Maybe need to talk Coach Kerrigan and seeing if we can get him up to the basketball game, so we're running him more often. And I saw him at a few of them this year, so it was good to see him. But I'm glad baseball's back, and I know those guys are too. I mean, they're the coaches; they got to be so happy to be back out on the field with their guys. But I love the fact that baseball's back. I forgot to charge my camera, but I took the camera out there, got a few shots from the dugout. Of both Creekwood and Sycamore. We're going to have a pretty good story about that up in next week's paper. We're also going to have some information with some of the other baseball and softball teams since the season started. I'm going to have some track and field for Creekwood, probably some soccer stuff too for both Dixon and the Cheatham papers. We definitely have some Harpeth I want to say softball. Bill Clark went out and shot some Harpeth softball maybe Tuesday against Houston County, maybe? I might be completely wrong. But he went out and shot some Harpeth softball for me, so we'll have that. Also, next week, I know this has been a long time coming. It's taken me a long time to get around to it. But the all-county football team will be in next week's paper. Like I said, I know it's taken me way too long to get to it. That's my fault. It's just been really hard to try to collect all this information and get it all together. So that's going to be cool because everybody loves football. Since we're going to bring out some high school football stuff in the middle of March. I love it. I think it's a good timing for me anyway. So we're going to do that. We're going to have some all-county football, and then right after that, we're going to have some all-county. Probably going to do some all-county bowling for here in Dixon, and then after that, some all-county basketball coming up. So. You boys and girls that love your baseball and softball and soccer, track and field, all that stuff's getting started. Make sure you check out the paper next week in both Dixon and Cheatham. We're going to try and have as much of the baseball and softball home opener stuff from this week that we can. Track and field's always hard to get to, but we're going to try and get some of that. Try and get to some of that as well. Soccer. I think we should have some soccer. We're definitely going to have some soccer next week. Harpeth and Sycamore play against each other. Bill Clark already told me he's going to be out there, so that's going to be great. We're going to have some soccer between two really big programs. Coach McCullough out there at Sycamore and Coach Jenkins at Harpeth. Harpeth, of course, was at state tournament last year with a very senior-heavy team. So going to be kind of exciting to see what type of team Harpeth has this year after losing quite a bit of talent from last year. So I'm excited for that game next week. Excited to see how that goes. I know Creekwood's got a soccer game, I think, later tonight against Harpeth. So I know the basketball state championships are playing right now. All the high school teams that I cover, they wound up, their seasons come to an end over the last few weeks. No rest for the weary at all. We're getting right into baseball and softball season, and that's awesome. Like I said, I'm happy baseball's here. I'm happy professional baseball here. I'm happy college baseball, high school baseball, all of it. I'm glad it's all here, and I'm glad that all of you come and hung out with me today. Fairly decent show, 24 minutes, not too bad. I got through most of my info. And here's my problem. If I wouldn't just go off on these random rants where I just complain about the things that bother me, we could probably have this show done in like 16 minutes. But well, anyway, I just got a notification on my phone from somebody I'd like to go talk to. So y'all have a wonderful evening. My show is over with. We'll see y'all next week.